Bingo, bango, bongo. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sports for Dummies. My name is Joshua Merchant. Almost doubled my name. Anyway, joined by co-host John Merchant. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Joshy, how are we?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. We've got an exciting podcast today, to be honest.
How
It's
good? How
Victor
good? Wemby!
Wemby, the hype is real. Let's be real.
He's arrived.
He has arrived.
There is no shadow of a doubt now that he has arrived. And he's going to be... We already knew he was here. He just needed that first game where he arrived. And 38 points, 10 assists. What was it? 3 blocks.
2 blocks.
2 blocks.
2 assists.
57% from the field. 50 from 3. 83 from the line.
What a jet.
He's taller than everyone. He shoots over 7-footers with ease. He beats them off the dribble. He shoots from the perimeter.
But one thing that this astonishes me with this guy, 7'4". He's pretty lean. You can't be big at that size anyway. But he's smooth. He jumps too. It's not like a Dirk where Dirk almost just kind of just jumps like an inch off the ground. It's a massive jump. And how can you beat that?
This guy could be, in terms of just... He's not the physically dominant in terms of,
size.
Strength
but
and size.
That'll come with years.
But if that
Giannis
does come, he literally could be the new Wilt.
Well,
where he's just oversized and over matches everyone. He already does it with his skill.
Well, did you, see some of the passes and just the layup? He just said, give it to me in the post, guys. Like, I'll just take these guys on. And you'd take on 2 players, just lay it up or slam it in. But the crazy thing is, then he'd splash threes. And he's confident. That's the great thing. You see this guy take the game on.
You saw him against Nurkic. He's 7 foot, 7'1", and these guys don't have the footwork. And he's like a guard. He just runs around them, and then he can just pull up and shoot over them without having to be free or anything because he's just so tall. 7 points in the last quarter, big block. Mate, he's doing it against a good KD, and Devin Booker's last 3 quarters were huge. Like. They were up by 20, and the Suns really looked like they were going to run away with it. And
nope, they got them 2-0 in the last few. Well, they played them twice, didn't they?
They played them twice, and they've beaten both.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
One without Booker, and Booker came back and
still won.
It's just beautiful. It's actually really cool to see what he's done. Go have a look at his highlights. It's actually incredible.
Yeah, for the Spurs, the amount of attention he's bringing, I think he's bringing the hype like. Someone like... this is a big call, but how long ago do you reckon since we've seen a player of this caliber?
The last one was LeBron James's.
Like to this hype, this amount of hype.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
And that's a big... Let's call
LeBron
it.
James is 20... LeBron James is easily the most hyped athlete of all time. The next MJ. The chosen one. And... LeBron's answered all those questions. This guy's got just as much hype. But you've got social medias, LeBron James is still playing.
I was going to say, how many... Well, that's LeBron's on his 21st, 23rd?
Yeah, and he's as good as
on his season. That's what I mean. So you look at that and you're like, 23 seasons and no one's been as hyped. 21 seasons, no one's been as hyped like LeBron, like Victor, or Wemby. So it's huge to see for the NBA. It's one of the best seasons, I reckon. I'm excited. I haven't really been... The last season, I wasn't really, over COVID and the bubble and all the stuff they did, I wasn't really entertained. But now jumping back in and seeing this guy, he's a freak. Like, freak in nature. Like, just skillfully good. We were chatting. How good would it be if you chuck someone in the liking of... I remember bringing back Clippers days, Chris Paul throwing it up to Griffin. Could you imagine Chris Paul throwing some absolute dimes from far?
If
Wemby
had a floor general... They could do some serious damage. I'm talking like a pure point guard, like a Stockton, a Paul, a Jason Kidd, a proper just doesn't care about points, just facilitates. But what he's doing for this team that he's got around him, they're playing with confidence.
Well, they're
playing bigger. They can get it done, which means the more that they, keep succeeding, they think now. Of course, that is purely because of him.
Yeah,
but he'll make them stand taller.
Well, it's like we'll think about LeBron. LeBron for the Lakers, he comes in. Without LeBron, how do they go?
Well, they hadn't made the playoffs for a good amount of time.
So it's like you bring a player like Victor in. he's going to bring up the team and the whole team's going to lift with him. But when he's obviously, 5 games in, what is he averaging? Let's jump into that for starters.
Was it 20 and 8?
All right, here we go. So he's 20.6. So he's played 5 games, right? 20.6 points. He's got 1.6 assists. He's got... Let me have a look here. So this is actually not the easiest to review.
He's averaging
8
50
rebounds.
from the field.
Yep, 8 rebounds. He's got 2.2 blocks. He's got 1.4 assists, and he does have 4.2 turnovers. But let's be real, he's a new player. He's coming in. He's 5 games in. Also, these stats, to be honest, if he plays the way that he did against the Suns today, and he just starts running that, and that becomes a consistent theme, that would be a confidence boost for him. He's come in with so much hype. That guy would be on top of the world right now.
People were legitimately questioning whether he was going to be good or not.
Well,
even though he was scoring, he was still getting 15 to 18 points. He's just answered that. But what it did get us thinking too, because it's a great start. What are some of the best first years that in basketball, just to name a few, like who were they?
It's funny you asked, John. I apparently just have those stats right in front of me. I'll just jump in. So number 10, you had Hakeem Olajuwon. That's how you say his name, Olajuwon.
Well, he averaged 21 and 12.
He was 20.6 points, 12 boards, and blocked 2.7 shots per night. Now, wait, hold up. One thing I have not mentioned. Wemby's only averaging 28 minutes a game.
Yes.
That's not big numbers. So they're breaking him in. So they're just going, you know what? We're going to slowly transition him in. Transition. That's not a word you use nowadays. They're just going to slowly push him in. And I reckon if he plays 40 minutes in a game...
Well, I think that as you said, they'll transition. I think he'll stick around that, 25 to 30 this year and then boost it up. But, mate, to be, Hakeem Olajuwon... he was the guy who won championships when MJ retired for these middle bit. He's one of the best 2 players ever and one of the best blockers of all time for center. The guy went one-on-one with Shaquille O'Neal and destroyed him. Like, that's a pretty good... Hakeem Olajuwon is so good. He was picked number 1 ahead of Michael Jordan, and Houston fans still thought it was the right choice. That's how good he was. So there's a great company to be in.
Well, you've got number 9, LeBron James, and he had, 21 points, 5.5 boards, 6 assists, 1.6 steals per game, and he played just under a touch of 40 minutes per game.
Well, he was, it's an interesting, because he joined a really bad Cleveland system, so, of course... Wemby joined a weak Spurs, but they've got Greg Popovich, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time. LeBron really, Cleveland had been in the wilderness for a while, so he had to play every single minute. And LeBron hasn't stopped. Yeah,
well, let's talk. And this number 8, Tim Duncan. So
another Spur.
Another Spur. He had 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 12.5 blocks per game. He played just under 40 minutes as well per game. So these guys are playing some serious minutes.
Well, there was no load management back then. You just played.
Yeah.
It's a very different game. Obviously there's more score. So when Tim Duncan played, the average score was 93. It's 116 now. True. So it's just a different game. It's not who's better or who's worse. But they're also playing more.
Yeah, good point. Number 7, you had Allen Iverson. So he was playing about 40 minutes as well. He had 23.5 points, 7.5 assists. That's pretty big. Like, in my opinion.
He crossed over Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, how many people did that?
Exactly.
Look, we could go through the entire list, but we'll go to the top. We'll go to the top.
I thought that was... Well, who else was there?
So we had...
6 left. Okay.
So we had 6 left. We had Larry Bird.
Okay, so that's all right. We won't go into everything. No. We won't go into that. But where did Larry Bird? Okay, go back. Okay, where all these players were. So you had. So who was number 7 again? Tim Duncan. Yeah. Who's the top? Oh, not Iverson. Tim Duncan. Larry Bird, top 10 player. I reckon top 9. David Robinson, another Spurs player, the Admiral. Sorry, I just went tongue-tied there myself. 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Can you please read out his stats?
So he averaged 28.8 and 14 points and 14.5 boards per game.
So 28 points.
Yep.
14 rebounds.
Yep.
How many minutes?
Actually doesn't say how many minutes for this one. Which is,
okay, so Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is arguably what most people have him in their top 3. So there's a point here.
Number 3,
Michael
Jordan.
Arguably
the best player of all time.
Averaged 28 points. The best 28 points. The GOAT.
38 minutes per night. He had 28.2 points.
Yep.
And he shot 51% from the floor. Now,
was his average that high for his first year? For a guard?
It's pretty damn good, if you ask me. Pretty damn good. Number
2?
2.
Who?
Wilt Chamberlain.
How is Wilt Chamberlain number 2?
Well, he had...
Can you? This is 2K numbers. Can you please read this out?
This is overpowered. It's like, yeah, exactly. Like playing 2K. 37.5 points per game. With this is just a funny number. 27 rebounds.
And we're saying Wemby's awesome. Wilt Chamberlain is... we're going to do a video going
that's
through...
Number 2. Hold up, that's number 2.
Well, I don't agree with... That can't be not number 1.
No, who... This Bleacher Report. This is them who have done
Who have they got?
Number 1, Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, okay.
So,
the original triple-double.
The triple-double. This is impressive. You've got 30.5 points, 10 boards, 9.7 assists. I mean, you look at that from an all-rounded game, though. It's a pretty solid season.
So he was the first person to average a triple-double, and when they averaged out his first 5 years, it was a triple-double when they averaged it all. They weren't individually, but if you put them all together. Now, the point, I guess, in going through theirs, and there's one person who wasn't mentioned on that list because his stats weren't as good. He averaged 18, 8, and 8, was Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson won a finals MVP in his first year, which is more impressive than all of that. In his first year.
Yep, I agree.
Kareem went down in the last game. Magic, who's a point guard, played center in his first year. But the point is, apart from Allen Iverson, David Robertson, all of them are arguably in everyone's top 15.
100%.
And if you want to just play, you've got all-time. Everyone on that list is an all-time great.
Yep. So it's literally we're talking. We're talking
greatness.
It's not a matter of.
This was his first big game.
Yeah, how many? There's 82 games in a season. There's another 77. Normally good with my math.
And he did it against good comp.
Great competition.
Well, he did it against.
He's idol when he was growing up. KD.
I mean, you see how funny it is looking at KD, who's 7 foot, against Wemby.
He looks small.
Very small.
He looks tiny. I don't know about you. They had in the first game a photo of Wemby trying to block him, and he just looks massive.
And KD and Booker's last 3 quarters were good.
Yeah.
It's very excited to see where this guy ends up.
I'm excited too, and anyone who is excited and has been following his journey, we will be tracking him pretty hard across.
Yeah, he's going to be mentioned quite a bit.
Yeah, we will be.
And it's Wembanyama. We've only figured out his name as well.
Wembanyama. We actually did do a video on Wemby, but we actually, for some reason, could not upload it. It was only after the second or third game, I reckon.
It was our first. Yeah, it was his first.
First game actually was. Yeah, no, it was his first. You were right.
It was his first one. We reviewed his first one, but we lost everything. But then we figured out. No, we didn't lose everything. It just didn't want to upload. Maybe there was a reason, and it clearly was for this, because game number 5 he comes out and he absolutely kills it. It's awesome to see him living up to the hype. I can't imagine how his confidence would be right now. He's going to be on top of the world. He's going to go into his next few games. He's going to have this confidence play, and his whole team too. It's not just Wemby that's going to be... The crowd's going to be behind them. Everyone's going to be behind them because they know they can win now, and they're taking it to good squads. So it's not just, you're not playing against an average side. KD didn't have Booker in the first game. They had Booker in the second, and they lose. It's great to see. So I'm excited to see where the Spurs can take it. I mean, whether or not he gets to this caliber of, for the entirety of his career, I hope it goes down as one. Without a doubt, it's out of him and Chet who's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I can't see... Well, Chet's defensive game has been, and you can go into Chet in another one, but he's defensively been very sound. But I think Wemby just showed here that his ceiling is just at another level.
Yeah, he's going to play at a level that's going to lead
I got a
team
mate
to
who
success.
will very much hate what I just said. But
no, but he's going to lead his team to success.
But there's different types of greatness.
Yep.
Chet will be a great player, but Wemby's ceiling is GOAT.
100%.
Wemby has all of the attributes to be the GOAT. Now,
he's proved it too now.
To get some miles in his legs this year. They figure out as a team, can they acquire another player, to help around him, and then it's championships.
Between you and I, Johnny, he only played the 34 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Like the stars are playing 40. This is crazy. This is going to be obscene.
We're seeing history in the making, and it's great.
It's going to be awesome. Anyway, guys, drop a comment. We want to know your thoughts. Any suggestions, please feel free to shoot them across.
Like and subscribe too.
Yes, please do that. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.